today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
You know what time it is. That's right. It is Monday, October 17, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend. Good afternoon, fellas. I told my boy JB, I said, Michigan pulls off a good win, the way I wanted to see it win against Penn State this Saturday. I was coming in with the Blake Corn, DJ Turner, turnover buffs. So here I am in all my splendor as my Michigan Wolverines, a 7-0 ski.
If I was Jim Harbaugh, I would say, buffs, buffs. You're with it. You're with it, Braylon. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What up, fellas? Welcome in. No Lions over the weekend. I kind of missed them, to be honest with you, but I got to see the Jets and the Giants. I felt like I was back in Jersey again.
Pretty good, and you walked away with a couple of W's, so you're especially good.
And the Wolverines throttled Penn State.
I'm telling you.
I was at Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio, with my buddy Pete Spivak and Dan Katowski.
Guts.
Ethan. We were all there. Dan called the game. First time I went to that stadium. I had a great time, man. Great people, met them all, and one of the oldest rivalries in college football, and Bowling Green won.
Oh, Bowling Green beat Toledo.
Yeah. No, they beat Miami, Ohio.
Oh, Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had a great time in Ann Arbor, man. Got a chance to work with Fox Sports and Discover, and they brought me up there as a part of a Legends Lounge that they did, and it was interacting with the people, man. It's nothing like, it's no different than any other school. But it is. When that Block M is winning and you're a part of that, it's my boy Lamar Woodley, hung out in his suite a little bit.
What's up, Lamar Woodley?
What's up, Wood? You know, when Michigan is winning, that Block M is winning, man, it is electric.
Who's that, Braylon?
Mike Phelps, man, the one and only, the greatest Olympian of all time. I'm partial because he's my Michigan guy. I would say Usain Bolt's a close second, but it was fun. Like, the energy was electric up there, and then Michigan gets the win in a way, in a manner in which you wanted them to show you of a number 4 team in the country if they're trying to beat Ohio State at the end of the year. I think they showed a lot in that game. There's some things we can fix, and we'll talk about that. But the energy and the overall electricity was really good in Ann Arbor. They're working on something special.
I think so, too. And let's start with the news today before we get into the game.
Yep.
On Saturday. News today, it just came down about an hour and a half ago. Michigan and Michigan State will play under the lights in Ann Arbor, 7:30 on ABC Network. Of course, Fox gets the first selection of games that weekend, and rightfully so. Ohio State, Penn State, they take that game 12 p.m. on Fox. ESPN, I believe, gets second selection for the week, and they stick Michigan State 7:30 at night. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I know primetime games is a different deal for a lot of people at night. For me, I hate it.
Yeah.
I just hate the night game. I don't want to wait around all day to watch it. I don't want to go to the game because I don't want to get home at 1:30 in the morning either.
Yeah.
Drive home at night. You know, I hate it. I understand it, but I hate it.
The good thing about the 12 or 1 o'clock kickoff is, coming from my perspective, former player, I'm signing pictures, I'm taking pictures, signing autographs, kissing babies, I'm running for mayor, I'm running for governor, the whole 9 yards. It's amazing to interact with the fans, interact with the crowd. I usually get to my seat or the suite, right around kickoff at 12. Like, so this past weekend, I got to the suite at 11:45, 11:50. Game starts at 12. I left at the end of the third, like I always do. I never stay to the end. Beat the traffic. You beat the rest of the crowd, the math. But you can't do that at 7:30. Like, I'm going to the game. I have to. I'm working the game, but I'm going to leave early because who wants to stay until 11:30, then get stuck in traffic, not get home till 2 in the morning? Man, I don't like the 7:30 game, but like you said, I do understand it.
What's up with the 3:30 game? Who gets choice of that?
ESPN.
I don't know. I would assume that ESPN and or Fox, because Fox does get third or fourth.
I mean, it's a perfect 3:30 game. It really is.
It is a good 3:30 game.
I don't see the 8 o'clock appeal for it, the 7:30 appeal for this game. And Ohio State, Penn State, Ohio State they'll beat them by 40.
Ohio State's going to throttle everybody, but again, you have the state of Ohio and the state of Pennsylvania in an entire region, whereas today, Michigan State, you're only drawing from one state.
Yeah. It was the highest rated game last year, if you remember.
Last year, both teams were 7-0 last year.
Yeah. Second highest rated game.
Yeah, behind Michigan and Ohio State. But again, you look at the Week 9 matchups, I don't see who is the 3:30 game that's not on here. Maybe Stanford UCLA is at the Rose Bowl is a 3:30 game. I don't know, but either way, it is what it is. The game's at night, and I hate it. It sucks.
But it goes back to what we talked about last weekend. We asked Brady Quinn about it. Is the Indiana game, because now if they choose Oklahoma and TCU, now they can essentially come back and choose Michigan 2 weeks in a row. They could have done Michigan, Penn State, and then they could have done Michigan State. But because they did Indiana, they don't want to go to Michigan damn near 3 times in a row.
And again, I think what Fox did when they entered the realm of college football to make that noon window special again, because for a number of years, I think that primetime game was where the cool kids wanted to be a part of.
7:30.
The cool kids wanted to play that 7:30, 8 o'clock game at night. Fox comes in and has made their big noon kickoff all the rage.
Yeah.
I think it's doing very well in the ratings. The noon game is the highest rated window on Fox week in, week out, seemingly. And the night game has been less than. And you know, when you look at the big game, and we'll talk about Tennessee and Alabama too, that was a 3:30 CBS game, right? I mean, between the noon game on Fox and the 3:30 CBS game, this night game situation has been really less than. I mean, Clemson and Florida State were playing, and it was this kind of like you're drained after Michigan. Penn
you're
State,
out of gas already.
You're out of gas.
You're out of gas.
Totally out of gas at 7:30 after a great day of college football.
It just seems like back in the day, it seemed like, maybe this is just me, but it seemed like, you would wake up on Saturday, you would watch game day, this is before Big Noon Kickoff, you watch game day from 10 to 1, essentially, and then after that, you would watch your team, and then you would wait to watch whatever the night game was. It was like the games in the middle didn't matter. Now it's quite the opposite, man. You watch Big Noon Kickoff or game day with Pat McAfee, you watch that till 12, then you watch Big Noon Kickoff, whatever game that is, and then after that 4 o'clock game, you're essentially packing in, like, all right, cool, what's my night intel? What am I doing? I'm not worried about that 7:15 and 7:30 game. So Michigan 7:30 against Michigan State in 2 weeks. Not looking forward to the time, but it will be a good game since both teams are coming off wins.
Yeah, both teams will be coming off the bye. I mean, doesn't it feel like this game is worthy of 2 weeks of trash talk? I mean, by the end of the 2 weeks is up, we're going to be ready to play a football game here. You know, you go from talking about the time of the game to, every other Michigan State game that we've seen. And, oh, by the way, we have not forgotten. I watched it a million times today. I really did, because I thought it was just one of the craziest moments in sports history. On this day, back 7 years ago now, the fumbled snap on the punt in Michigan State, Jalen Watts Jackson takes it in for the Michigan State win, stunning everybody in the college football world, especially that guy in the stands at Michigan. But
little kid with the glasses.
Look, it happened. Today is the anniversary of it, and you have to mention it.
Yeah, you do. I was at that game. I left early, and note to self, I told you guys before the show, I learned to stop leaving Michigan games early. I left the game in 06 early. They ended up losing. I left the Michigan State trouble with the snap game. They lose. And my dad and I left the Colorado game where the infamous Hail Mary by Cordell Stewart. But it was crazy. Excuse me. It was crazy because I was at the game. They get their last stop with about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm like, I told my friend Justin, best friend, who went to Michigan State, but we went to high school together. I said, let's leave now. Let's beat the crowd. Let's beat the rush. Let's get out now. We're walking on Main Street towards Pauline, and I hear a noise, but it wasn't loud enough to be Michigan. Like, it wasn't like I'm like, that's not 115,000. That's about 10,000. What's going on? As soon as I walk into my guy Peter Savarino's house, see the TV, I just could not believe what happened, man. It's one of those things where that kind of changed the trajectory of that year. Sure. Jim Harbaugh, they should have beat Utah early in the year, but Could have beat Utah, couldn't get the throws. Should have beat Michigan State. That was his first time playing against Michigan State. Could have changed the trajectory of that season, but max protection, man. That's all I got to say.
I remember watching that game at home, and we were ready to I was so excited, so happy. It was a nice day out. We had the doors open, the screens up, and it happened. My kids were going around, hey, we wanted Chinese food that night, so everyone's taking their order. They come up to me,
Little
and
Wan Cow action.
that play happened, and I just lost my appetite. And of course, Michigan State loving neighbors are out there screaming, and I'll never forget it. And I looked at Jim Harbaugh that day, and that was the day I told you guys this. That was the day I thought Jim Harbaugh ceased being Jim Harbaugh. I thought the ghost of Jim Harbaugh leave his body that day. But he got it back now, and he's got it back. He's back to being Jim Harbaugh, and he's got himself a hell of a team.
Hardball,
Yep.
as I saw on Saturday, and that's really what it was. I mean, Saturday was as good a football game as you could have, and we're going to talk about that next. An absolute drubbing of the number 10 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions. We'll talk about that, what you learned about Michigan, how you feel about Michigan moving forward. Where is this program right now? Because you got to feel pretty damn good about it if you're a Michigan Wolverine, and we will do that next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, Chris and Noni Hut, the great host there. Make sure you tell them Woodward Sports sent you. 2 ways to play: $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 2 hours, $120. You get to bring 10 or 12 of your closest friends to the lane. Any drink you want, multiple full bars, and of course over 100 beers on the menu, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or even have it delivered. Get your Foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey everybody, JB here letting you know about Planet Fitness and how they are home to the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere.
No judgments.
The gym has always been known for being clean, but now it is cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes and a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all this, you get it all just for $10
Only
a
$10?
month. Yes, $10 a month. But also, Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live from Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights all day, Wednesday, October 26th, with opportunity to win prizes like Michigan versus Michigan State tickets, which comes with 1 year of the free Black Card membership, a signed Darren McCarty jersey, and he is wearing the gold chain Block M today, a signed Braylon Edwards jersey. Join In Club today or check him out at planetfitness.com.
That's video of Michigan and Penn State getting into it in the Lloyd Carr Tunnel at halftime of that game. And Fox Sports had a pretty good tweet out that they put out. They said, don't mess with Michigan in the tunnel. And they put the score of Michigan-Ohio State at halftime in the final score. And then Michigan Penn State at halftime, and then the final score, Michigan dominated both those matchups in the second half. Braylon,
Don't mess with the Lloyd Carr tunnel.
That's right. 418 yards rushing for the Michigan Wolverines against the number 5th ranked rushing defense in the country. What did you learn about the Michigan? We asked this on Friday during Fill in the Blank Friday.
Yep.
What will you learn about the Michigan Wolverines against Penn State? What did you learn on Saturday? Penn State, Michigan, 41-17. My goodness.
What I learned is that, Blake Corum has a chance to win the Heisman, but he's not the best running back on the team. Donovan Edwards is somebody that you've talked about for a very long time. He's special. I think Donovan Edwards is the most special player on the Michigan Wolverines team. Running the ball, being able to dominate, controlling it. You want to run the ball in October, November. That's when it starts to get cold. That's when the weather starts to get bad. That's when you got to have your running game intact. I saw an offensive line who last year was the number 1 offensive line in the country. They won the award, rightfully so. I saw them get better this year. I saw them get better on Saturday. They dominated Penn State. They took the wheel from Penn State on the offensive side of the ball. I'm talking about every time you saw a run, you saw guys getting pushed back, defensive linemen 5, 6, 7 yards before Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards on their big runs were even getting touched, and some they didn't get touched on. But also just the defensive side. I saw a team. You see in the first half, and I was in the suite, and it's funny being a former player versus just being with fans. Because every moment you guys are nervous. Every moment it bothers you. So when, the bad tip, double doink interception for a touchdown, and then the Sean Clifford run, which is the only play that they had of the day, everybody like, oh, man, Michigan. I said, relax. I said, Michigan is dominating this game. I said, just watch it unfold in the second half. And what you're watching Michigan do, whether it's in Iowa at Kinnick Stadium, whether it's at the Big House against Penn State, Michigan can win any type of game. They always seem to close the games. Like, that's what you want to see out of a championship team, is being able to close those games in the second half. And I think they're doing a tremendous job of that. They're beating the teams in front of them, and they're looking better each week. Now, that red zone offense stinks. The red zone offense stinks, but that's the only gripe that I have against this Michigan team, is they got to fix that red zone offense. But, man, they're flying around on defense. And I know they only had 2 sacks, but that's not the reflection of the pressure and how they got after Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford was under duress the whole game.
I DVR'd the game because I was going to be out in Bowling Green. Came back and watched it, and I busted your chops early when they threw that interception. And I'm like, what happened to your J.J. McCarthy? And you said, relax, Maz, relax. But I wanted to ask you, you still have confidence in him?
Without question.
Why?
And what do you... Well, there were a couple of plays in that game, and in one in which he rolled out and threw a dart on the sideline. That was something that you can't.
Cade McNamara made a couple of those throws.
He wouldn't have made that.
I'm just saying.
I know, but let me tell you this much: in we are at the point in the season where it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you want to pick out J.J. McCarthy takes, even the Corum Edwards. We are at a point in the season where this team is 7-0, and they are most likely, no disrespect to Michigan State, it's a rivalry game, but most likely they're going to pop up in Columbus as 11-0. We are witnessing a complete football team that, yes, does have to get better, but this football team can win the national championship. I said it earlier this month. I think the quarterback is doing what he needs to do. And you can go back, yes, I still believe J.J. McCarthy could be the best Michigan quarterback that ever has worn that helmet in Ann Arbor. But he is a sophomore. He's got some work to do. But when you look at rushing the ball, 418, if you are going to gash a team for 418 yards on the ground, why in the world would you not just take advantage of that? You can tell me, McNamara would do that, and maybe he would have, but I'll tell you this much, I don't even care. Who's catching the ball? I don't care. Who's running the ball? I don't care. Who's throwing the ball? I don't care. The bottom line is they are getting the job done as a team. They are doing this thing together now as a team, and to me, that's all I care about at this point.
J.J. McCarthy has 5 interceptions, and 3 of them are tip pass for interception. That pass, the tip pick for 6 in the game this past weekend was a knockdown ball that bounced off the defensive lineman's hand and then bounced off the helmet of a Penn State player and was intercepted. It wasn't just poor read, it wasn't a poor throw. It was one of those situations. J.J. McCarthy is doing exactly what Michigan is putting him in position to do. Maz, if you're going to ask a question, and look as I tell you, they are putting him in the position to do exactly what he's doing. They're running the ball, and they're only asking him to throw zero screens. Every once in a while, they're asking him to roll out and maybe hit a comeback, like he did the play that Ryan's talking about on the sideline. That team and JJ is going to be good. He's doing what they're asking him to do. Michigan, Harbaugh, Weiss, and Sharon Moore, they're not asking him to be Bryce Young and throw for 455 yards. They're not asking him to be Hendon Hooker and throw for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. They're not conducting the offense like that. They're asking him to be a manager. They're asking him to use his feet at times, be elusive a little bit, and they're asking him to depend on Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and that offensive line for the University of Michigan. He's doing exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants him to.
And, McCarthy's going to get a lot of the, why don't you throw? I mean, come on. They just beat up on this football team. In the schedule, we talked about this, and just a point that you made earlier, because you're making a lot of great points. I'm trying to go back and remember them as you make them. But Michigan was dominating that game. And there were 2 lucky plays.
Yeah.
They got 2 lucky plays, and that just couldn't keep up. You weren't going to keep up on that. I tweeted out Michigan was going to win this game by 3 touchdowns, and people were laughing at me. And look, you watched the game, and you saw the complete dominance by the Michigan Wolverines. And I just this team has everything right now. They're everything right now.
Look at the Georgia Bulldogs last year. That team, they won the national championship. They beat the hell out of Michigan. They played a tough game against Alabama. They got their revenge for the SEC championship. Stetson Bennett IV was the quarterback. Now, this year he has a couple 300-yard passing games, but not last year. Last year, they asked Stetson Bennett to do a certain thing. It said, listen, we're going to play to our defense, which is the best in the country. We're going to run the ball with Cook, Dalvin Cook's younger brother. We're going to pass to Brockers, our tight end, and then we'll throw passes to George Pickens here and there once he's healthy. They asked him not to lose the game, but every once in a while, use some of that athleticism that had you the #1 baseball player in the state of Georgia when he was coming out of high school. Same thing with J.J. McCarthy. Hey, look, man, we got a defense that's flying around. We got 2 of the best backs in the country. We are the #1 running back in terms of Blake Corum in the country, the best offensive line. Hey, just don't lose the game. We'll put you in good spots. Just take it, pay attention to where we put you and operate accordingly. Mm-hmm. Same thing that Georgia did with Stetson Bennett IV last year is the same thing Jim Harbaugh is doing with J.J. McCarthy this year.
And I thought, Jim Harbaugh coached a great game. Not a good game, a great game on Saturday. And again, you could talk about all the Michigan haters out there. Oh, J.J. McCarthy this, and he's a game manager, and McNamara could have been a game manager. It doesn't matter. At this point in the season, you are doing what you have to do to win the game. You play to win the game, to use a phrase from the great Herm Edwards, and that's what they needed to do to win that specific game. It might be different this week. Maybe Michigan State sails out to stop the run, and you force them to win through the air. It doesn't matter.
The same thing happened last year. We didn't know Cade McNamara could throw the ball until he needed to against Michigan State. They had to be able to pass the ball, and they did so. Listen, with Michigan, you hit the nail on the head. It's hate. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the Block M, whether it's whoever, whether it's Michigan State fans, whether it's Penn State fans, whether it's Ohio State fans, whether it's pundits, whoever it is, it's always hate. Ryan and my first 2 games of the year, Michigan beats Colorado State and Hawaii. Oh my God, why are they playing the schedule? Then they beat Connecticut. Oh my God, the schedule sucks. They don't know who their quarterback is. Why are they operating like this? Then you come against Maryland. You beat Maryland. Oh, they let Maryland throw the ball on them. It's always an excuse, but you know what hasn't changed in those excuses? Michigan winning. Mm-hmm. They found a way to beat Maryland. They found a way to beat Iowa at Kinnick, which is a tough place to play. Oh, well, Iowa's not that good this year. Then they struggled against Indiana. They found a way to beat Indiana on the road. Penn State, they found a way to beat the brakes off of Penn State. Michigan is finding ways to win games and close games out. And you know what? We shut up talking. They're doing a good job.
But they did last year as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I just think that they're a better team this year. than they were a year ago.
I hope you're right.
And I think their quarterback can make plays. One play in which he ran for a first down on a third down that Cade McNamara wouldn't have been able to do. And again, just wait. He'll make a play when he needs to make a play.
No, hold on. I even do you one better, Maz. You keep talking about Cade McNamara last year. How about this? Last year with Cade, the Nebraska game, we were nervous that Michigan was going to lose. That Wisconsin game, we were nervous that they had a chance to lose. The Penn State game at Happy Valley, we were nervous until Eric All made that catch. Name me one time this year you've been nervous with JJ and this Michigan team.
I have not. But again, I think if Michigan fans within themselves, and I'm just speaking to Michigan fans here, if Michigan fans are still talking about Cade versus JJ or any other individual players at this point, I think it's just unnecessary. Michigan football is 7-0, and they are winning as a team. And every player is doing the most with their opportunity. And I just can't wait to see how this thing plays out. This is a very exciting time to be a Michigan football fan. We'll continue to talk about it. You'll hear from Jim Harbaugh next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on them, too. So they're like new. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At Alta, uptime matters.
Uptime, it matters.
Alta Equipment's got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rental has got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO, the number 2, Alta. That's 844-GO to Alta.
There's no entitlement to the guys. Zero. And, they just, they don't get the big head, which is a great quality. And we all know that's a trap, deep, dark, lonely trap. They play with joy, they play with gusto, and they show up ready to play every week. And really with the goal of just winning the next game and getting prepared for it. And that's evidenced by, gosh, I'm coming up at the tunnel, telling guys they had a great game, and Blake's on the Michigan State coach, offensive line. Heck of a performance. 412 yards, guys. That's great. Coach, on to Michigan State. Okay. I like where your head's at. Let's keep it rolling.
And that video was courtesy of Gina Trotman, WXYZ Channel 7 here in Detroit. Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat, thank you so much for being along with us.
Yeah.
Braylon.
The good thing about this is this team plays for each other. Like Jim Harbaugh said, there's no entitlement, there's no big hit, there's no ideology that's selfish. Everyone's playing together. I remember last year running into Blake after they beat Iowa in the not the national championship, but in the Big Ten championship game. I ran into Blake at an autograph sign the very next day, and I said, "Man, good stuff." I'm like, "Good stuff." And the thing that stuck with me was he was like, He said, on to the next one. You know, it's Georgia time. Like, he wasn't resting on how well he played against Ohio State. He wasn't resting on how well he played against Iowa and Maryland. Well, he didn't play against Maryland. But it's the same thing. Whenever you talk to one of them, whether you tell JJ he had a great game, JJ's passing the credit to the offensive line. You tell Donovan Edwards he had a good game. He's passing the credit to Blake Corum. You tell the offensive line, man, you guys are dominating. They're passing the credit to the coaches and J.J. McCarthy. They're playing for each other. They're playing with each other. And I'm telling you, they're building something special in Ann Arbor for years to come. And it's really fun to see and really fun to watch.
And don't think for 1 second that Michigan isn't going to be ready to play this game. More so than any game they've ever played, perhaps. And I'm including that Ohio State game last year. This Michigan team is going to come out for blood. They're going to want to put everything they have into these Spartans. It'll be at night. And again, if you're just tuning in, perhaps 7:30 on ABC, Michigan State, that game time has been announced. They're going to put everything they have in this game. And a lot of people have a lot of feelings about the way last year's game went. And it's bragging rights, man. And you got a championship on the line again. Each and every week you play football from here on out, the championship and a college football playoff berth is going to be on the line.
You're going to have individuals that are cautionary and nervous about playing Michigan State because they've won the last 2 games. They're going to be nervous that, oh, you know what, Michigan State has nothing to play for but to ruin Michigan's season. These are the kind of trap games. They probably will lose. You know, Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't have Mel Tucker's number, and vice versa. Mel Tucker has his number. But you know what I'm excited about in this game, Ryan and Monty? Not only because we're 7-0 going into it, not only that we have a bye week to think about what we want to do to Michigan State. It's because Michigan State whooped our ass last year, and Michigan State whooped our ass the year before that. When Michigan won the Big Ten last year, yeah, they beat Ohio State. They won the Big Ten. They beat Iowa in the Big Ten championship. They go to the playoff. All these players thought about that loss to Michigan State all off season. I know the Pulse up there. I talked to some of the players up there. All they thought about is bringing Paul Bunyan back where he belongs. It's not going to be one of those games where Michigan State coming off a win against Wisconsin. Maybe there's a little bit of confidence there. You know what? They have nothing to play for. They're going to spoil Michigan's season. F that. Michigan is coming to party in 2 weeks. I don't think the game's going to be close.
It's got to be a 14-point spread if I would put it out right now. And if they had lost last week to Wisconsin, Michigan State probably would have been a 21-point spread. You can give that number, and they will win handily. Even if they take a half to do it, Michigan State might stay with them for a half, but they won't stay with them for the entire game. It's going to be, they're like you said, they're out for blood, and they'll get it.
All right, all your Michigan State slappies in the Woodward Sports chat, you know what we should tell them? Who said that Michigan State was going to win this weekend against Wisconsin? You and who?
We both did.
Exactly.
And I did think Michigan, I called for a Michigan State win against Wisconsin because I thought they had to win that game.
Pride.
I just couldn't imagine seeing them lose 7 straight games. They had already lost 4 in a row. Then they played Wisconsin, which they won that one, and then Michigan and Illinois, both on the road against 2 ranked teams. Illinois looks like they're going to be the team that comes out of the, well, you
might have to play them twice.
Purdue.
You might have to
Illinois,
play them twice. So we'll see what happens. But Michigan State is definitely a game. They had to win that game, and they did. And good for Michigan State.
Yeah.
I think it's way better that they won than if they lost.
Yeah, 100%, because you look at a win like that. We talked about this before the weekend. We talked about Wisconsin is a brand. Wisconsin's a big brand. Somebody like Michigan State that's struggling. They lost 4 in a row. To get a win against Wisconsin, who's a big brand, just fired their coach, that's a good win, and that gives you momentum, gives you a little energy, and actually adds to the 7:30 value that this game is. Ryan Ermanni bringing in little Ermanni. What's up, Lydia?
Say hi, Lydia. Sorry, Lydia, come and sit over here, sweetie. My little girl's here.
Wow, first time ever, man.
So, yeah, pretty good. So, Michigan State again, guys. Michigan State, it was good that they won that game. And I think they showed a little bit of pride, too. They showed a little bit of pride. They showed a little bit of fight. And on they go. And I thought Mel Tucker needed the win as well.
Yeah, he's went for Mel Tucker. You think of last year, their big win was probably Miami. They go down to the University of Miami. They win that game in Miami. Then they beat Michigan at home, stay undefeated. So he had those good wins. This was another big win for him. Look, he's a good coach. Like Mel Tucker knows how to coach the game of football. Mel Tucker knows how to motivate guys. He's a salesman. He's a great salesman. I think it was a good win for his guys, though, because they want to win for him. Mel Tucker's changed the culture up there to some extent. Those guys love Mel Tucker, and they want to play for him. Tuck coming. They want that to be true. So to go out there and get that win against Wisconsin was real good to see.
By the way, Tuck coming, if you would like to buy the shirt, let me know when he gets here this week. You have 2 weeks to do it. Let me know when he gets here. Go to the woodwardsports.com shop tab, and of course, you could buy that shirt. You could get it available in a sweatshirt as well. I have my shirt, and you should get yours.
I definitely have one.
Let me know when he gets here. Maz, you need one of those shirts.
I have one.
It's a phrase that you coined.
I know. Well, I'll never get the credit for it. There should be a little TM under it.
Tuck coming.
Trademark.
Guys, did you see what happened in college football this weekend? We stayed hot. We're going to continue
You're red hot
with this. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. When you go on the OddsTrader.com website, what they allow you to do, they give you stats. So they lean you in the right direction in terms of players, in terms of teams, in terms of tendencies, so that you can make some cash. Simply put, OddsTrader.com is the best.
Guys, we are so excited. And look, this college football season is shaping up to be a very special college football season. And I think in large part to the feeling, at least. There's a feeling that about 8 different teams can win this national championship. I just don't see the dominant team out there. And we called it, Braylon. I called it. I'll give myself a pat on the back here.
Alabama got cheated.
Tennessee upset Alabama in one of the greatest scenes in college football that you will see. I just loved every minute of that. Tennessee is here, and I think Tennessee, to me, and we'll put up that AP poll too, Tennessee might be the best team in the country right now.
No, without a doubt, Tennessee's the #1 team in the country. I think Georgia's still riding high because they're undefeated and they're coming off a national championship. Ohio State, they haven't necessarily played anybody yet. Tennessee went out there and beat Alabama at home in Neyland Stadium. And isn't it just something about when traditional teams are great? Yeah. Like, isn't it something when Michigan is great again, when Oklahoma is good, when Nebraska ever got back to the party, USC, being one-loss team, it's something about Tennessee. Because remember, for years in the 90s, they were challenging for national championships almost every year. So to see them return to prominence, and they shouldn't have been an upset in this game because Tennessee was the better all-around team. Now, Bryce Young played a hell of a game. He tried to do everything that he could to get Alabama that win. But you know what? For a change, ain't about Alabama. It's about Josh Heupel and Tennessee. The Volunteers, they're coming.
Tennessee and Hendon Hooker. I didn't realize he was 24 years old.
I didn't realize he was 24
until someone put it on Twitter today.
Yeah.
He's 24. JJ is 18. I didn't know he played for Va Tech. I mean, where the hell have I been? He played 3 years for Virginia Tech. What happened? How the hell they let him out of Blacksburg?
Can't imagine.
This guy is the real deal, man.
I saw him play one time, and I thought that this kid had all the tools to be a great quarterback and be a leader, and that's exactly what he's doing in a team, for a team that's got some excitement behind it in Josh Heupel, a guy that's really doing a lot of great things there. The old Rocky Top in Tennessee. But again, you look at that AP Top 25. I'll tell you right now, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Clemson, Alabama. I think you could still stick USC in there. Oregon. There's 8 teams that feel it. Hell, TCU. They feel like they can win the national championship. And that is why this expanded playoff is going to work. And especially in a year like this, when you could have a total round robin of games like that. Where's UCLA? I'm so excited
Chip
about
Kelly's
it.
undefeated.
And we're going to find out what UCLA is made of this week as Chip Kelly goes back to Oregon to face the Ducks. This is a very fascinating team. Now, look, Michigan's at 4 right now. I don't care if you put Michigan at 5 or Michigan at 6. If they beat Ohio State, at Ohio State, they're going to the college football playoff. And it does not matter where Michigan is. You could keep them at 5 if you want this week. They moved up from 5 to 4. I don't care how you interchange them. They beat Ohio State. They're going to go to the playoff. They lose to Ohio State. They're not going to the playoff, no matter where they are.
You guys have been trying to, bring me on board in terms of the playoffs and adding more teams. You guys were very excited with 12. I was not. I thought it was way too many teams. I didn't want to see a team with potentially 2-3 losses get a chance to beat a team that's undefeated. I feel like it wasn't warranted. But the more and more I'm kind of watching how the season is playing out, I'm watching, like you said, Georgia. Kirby Smart has Alabama's number right now. Kirby Smart, when you do something for the first time, once you see that you can do it, you keep doing it. So I still like Georgia over Alabama, but even in Alabama losing to a team that I believe is the number 1 team in the country in Tennessee, Alabama still had a chance to win. Still almost got cheated to it, but there was a couple of questionable calls on those last 2 drives. They're still right there. Michigan looks good. Want to see a little bit more out of them. Ohio State is Ohio State, especially on that offensive side. So you guys are starting to bring me around because Ole Miss is a damn good football team. Hell, Mississippi State is the sleeper team in the SEC. You want to watch them to have somebody that can play and that's going to surprise you later in the year? Pay attention to Mississippi State, who's currently at 24.
You see the goalpost being brought down. We all saw it. Did you see I think there's almost, you call it a GoFundMe almost.
Yeah, there is.
Look, they're actually chipping in to buy new goalposts for Tennessee's. And I saw the president, they had him.
I saw that too.
He was like, I don't care what it costs. Do it every year. They are having a good old time in Tennessee right now.
Well, think about where we were as a program last year to win that, beat Ohio State and ultimately win the Big Ten championship for the first time ever. A great program like Michigan. It's been 17 years since they had won the Big Ten championship. Last year they did it. Tennessee, no different. When you kind of slay the dragon a little bit, you're a great all-time historic franchise like university like Tennessee, and it's been 15 years since you beat Alabama and did anything. You're just itching for something good to talk about, something good to feel about. I think the interesting part here is what happens in the SEC. Because there is some parity in college football this year. You figure one team's getting in from the Big Ten. The Big Ten champion is getting in. The SEC champion is getting in. Clemson doesn't look like they're going to lose, right?
Right.
TCU doesn't look like they're going to lose. Does a second SEC team have any stake here at all?
100%. 100%.
Because you go an unbeaten Big Ten team, an unbeaten Big 12 team, because I don't see TCU losing.
Yeah.
An unbeaten, potentially Pac-12 champion, although I do think UCLA is going to lose. I think UCLA is going to lose, but let's just say Pac-12 champ is unbeaten. How do you throw 2 SEC teams?
Don't forget Notre Dame. I'm only kidding.
Well,
that was actually funny.
Yeah, thank you.
The reason why the SEC is going to get 2 teams in, because Tennessee has to play Georgia too the rest of the season. Then they're going to have to turn around and play Alabama or Georgia again in an SEC championship game. They'll get 2 teams in. But once again, this is you guys getting me to the same page as you guys and wanting more teams to expand that playoff, because it's going to be hell to pay. But the good thing about this is it's only week 7. Mm-hmm. You know what happens. These things always do what, JB? They always play themselves out. We spend all this time, we spend all this energy trying to break down the 40 billion formulas on who's getting to the 4 and how could Michigan potentially get in if they lose here in Ohio State, and what about at the end of the day, once that SEC championship game is over with, we'll know what 4 teams are going to make that playoff. And SEC, to answer your question, could get 2 in.
Well, here's the scenario for you is Georgia.
The Big Ten could get 2.
Well, I think
about this. If Michigan beats out, if Ohio State's only loss is to Michigan, and Michigan wins the Big Ten championship, whoever they play, Illinois or Purdue, Ohio State at 1 loss?
Dude, that's a great point. It's a great point. And what do you do with Tennessee if Tennessee loses to Georgia? Georgia then plays Alabama for the SEC championship game. What do you do with Tennessee, a 1-loss Tennessee
and
team?
Alabama beats Georgia.
Yeah. I mean,
this thing is. Don't even talk about it for another 4 weeks.
But
100%.
isn't it so fun? But that's what college football is, though. Isn't it? In every team, all the first 12 teams on this list right here, on this AP list, feel like they could win the national championship.
Where's Utah?
Utah, I don't even
15.
believe is Utah 15. Okay, Utah's 15.
15. Okay.
I loved that they went for 2 to win.
They're the best 2. They're the best 2-loss team in the country.
I loved that they went for 2 to try to win it. They score a touchdown late in the game against SC, and they're not going to overtime against SC. They go for 2. They win it. In that scenario,
you called that.
I did. I called that. I called Tennessee. What is the old saying that a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and again?
Especially when he's not betting.
Right. If I was playing, I would have lost.
But that's
it's
why,
just fun.
That's why college football is the number 1 sport. That is why college football has the biggest fan base. That's why college football brings people in year after year after year after year. Is because this conversation that we're having right now, the conversation that we're having, we're talking about, is it Georgia? Is it O State? What if Michigan beats O State, but then Michigan wins the Big Ten champion? Clemson, they're going to go undefeated. Ole Miss, TCU. The conversations that we're having now, you can't have these kind of conversations about hockey. You can't have these conversations about the Final Four. You can't have these conversations about the College Baseball World Series. You can't have those conversations. These conversations, man, we can have these conversations until January 10th and then start all over again on January 15th with who's going to win next year.
It's just so fun to talk about. Guys, we're going to do NFL, get to the NFL in hour number 2 of the program. But coming up next, the Swiss coverage play of the week. We go back to the Michigan-Penn State game. We'll get there next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. 27 locations. More on the way, folks. It's a great place. The cleanest salons in the D is Chili Peppers Tanning. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. Don't forget all those great products. And homecoming is here for all those high schoolers. They want to look good. Go get them a nice tan. They're going to do it anyway. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home? Check this out. Mike Phillips is your guy. Michael Phillips and Keller Williams does an amazing job. 23 years he's been in the business, so he is number one for a reason. His resume speaks for itself. Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is his top priority. Call him at 313-403-0011, 313-403-0011. Game on.
Speaking of game on, Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards, we are really excited about Michigan's run game. I mean, are you kidding me, Braylon? I just keep going back to this. 173 yards for Donovan Edwards, 166 yards for Blake Corum. That offensive line can play with anyone in the country, Bray.
100%, man. You know what it reminds me of is obviously a lot of people want to compare it to last year, but it's not the same as last year. Hassan Haskins was a bigger running back, a bruiser-type running back, and then Blake Corum was a switch-up. Both of these guys are slashers. Both of these guys are fast. Both of these guys can hit it and hit the home run, as you saw on Saturday. You know what this reminds me of? Rest in peace. It reminds me of Marion Barber. And Lawrence Maroney.
Yeah.
When we played them in 2003, they had 450 rushing yards on us, and we ended up coming back in the fourth quarter. But they both were lightning. They both were thunder. They both were fast and agile. It's the same thing with these guys, man. When they get the ball, you're on the edge of your seats waiting for them to hit the home run. But the thing that makes them even that much better, like as good as they are, Ryan Ermanni, as talented as Blake and Donovan Edwards are, Mike Hart has put them in the position. You can see the difference in those guys, and they were good last year, but you see the difference this year. Mike Hart talking about Blake Corum was like me, but he's just a lot faster. He coaches these guys up, man, and they're hitting the hole. One thing about Mike wasn't the fastest guy, not by a long shot, but Mike already made the first four guys miss before he touched the ball. That's how good he was with his instincts. That's how good he was with his skill, and I'm starting to see that rub off on Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, and it doesn't hurt that they're running behind the best offensive line in college football.
No doubt about it. And I do want to point out, like, if you hear, I was listening to Donovan Edwards post game, in just the way he was speaking, in that when your number's called, you make a play. It's just that simple. Like it wasn't. It's so complimentary. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just complimentary.
You heard Harbaugh. None of these guys, they don't have a head.
They
don't have an ego.
They just don't. And I don't know what that is. If it's a mindset of how you're brought up. If it's a mindset
I got
of the
answer
program.
for you. You talked about Donovan Edwards. He asked the question: who was his coach in high school for 4 years?
Bellamy.
Ron Bellamy has been prepping Donovan Edwards to be a Michigan stud for 4 years, and now he's got him for another 2 years, 6 years. He's essentially been coached by a guy that played at Michigan, now is on the Michigan staff, my brother Ron Bellamy. He's been waiting for this moment. He understands the Lloyd Carr mentality, who coached Ron Bellamy, which is, hey, the team. Give something greater. Give yourself to a cause greater than just yourself. And that's what he's doing. Hey, you guys want me to throw a pass? I'll go out there and throw a pass. You guys want me to run 10 times? I'll run 10 times. You guys want to throw me 18 passes? Right. I'll catch 18 passes. Whatever is called, he is going to do, because Ron Bellamy has prepared him for this moment.
And for a lot of guys, it's just not good enough in today's college football, and understandably so.
Yeah.
Like where we are in college football, and money being tossed around like it's nobody's business. Everybody wants a piece of theirs, and I don't begrudge anybody for that at all, like zero. But it is great to see kind of a throwback. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Donovan Edwards feels like a throwback. So, so good. Brady, I did want to get to this. The Swiss Coverage Play of the Week. I'll let you take it from here.
Swiss Coverage Play of the Week. Check this out, man. My man Mark at Swiss Insurance Group, they want to insure you. They want to cover you, and they do it right. Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Check out Mark at Swiss Insurance and make sure your family is protected. But now, the Swiss Coverage Play of the Week. Here we go right here. We got 4 high. Going to pre-snap 4 high safety right here. Blake Corum in the backfield, single high shotgun. Give me the next play. Hand the ball up. Look at the offensive line. Look how they are covering down on that linebacker core, on that defensive line. They are mauling those guys. That's the coverage you want. This is what Mark and Swiss Insurance Group, this is the type of coverage you'll get from them. Next play. Look at that. Look at Blake Corum. Look at these guys. Penn State doesn't know what hit them. The guys are back here, the offensive linemen. They already know it's going to be a touchdown because they have covered their responsibilities. They have covered their assignments, just like Marcus Swiss would do for you. And you know what the result is? Hit that next one. Doesn't it look good when you don't have to look back? See, I used to be that fast when I didn't have to look back. Now I might have to look back and see if somebody's on me. But Blake Corum in the end zone, and look, this guy's excited. The fans are excited. Blake Corum, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, the #1 running back statistically in the country right now. Hey, man, I got him 3rd in the Heisman Trophy race right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hendon Hooker, #1, I would
100%.
say, right?
Bryce Young,
number 2, Bryce Young, 2.
Yeah.
Really good player. And look, and we said it with last year with Kenneth Walker. Running backs just typically don't win the thing. So, you know what I mean?
You have to have an over-the-top outstanding, because I mean, you can look at guys like Melvin Gordon, had 2,600 yards and 28 touchdowns, and he didn't win the Heisman. You look at Toby Gerhart, he had 2,000 yards and he didn't win it. But if you're on a great team, i.e. Michigan, who's undefeated right now, 7-0, and you do something phenomenal, like if Blake Corum, you ready for this? Yeah. For Blake Corum to win the Heisman Trophy, he's going to have 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns. And Michigan's going to have to beat Ohio State and go undefeated. See, that's a different type of resume. Because, one, you have the cachet of being Michigan Wolverines, which is one of the #1 brands in the country. Let Fox tell you they are the #1 brand. You win the Big Ten championship. You beat Ohio State. See, wins like that will win you a Heisman Trophy. Derrick Henry actually wasn't the front runner the year he won. It actually was Leonard Fournette. But you know what happened with Derrick Henry? As he got into October, as he got into November, then he started making his run, and then he had 248 yards against LSU. Those are the type of things against your rivals in the big game that get your Heisman Trophy. So Blake's going to have 1,800, 22 touchdowns, and he's going to have a big game in Columbus.
No doubt about it. And doesn't it feel, we got plenty of time to talk Michigan, Ohio State, but don't you feel better about that game after watching the offensive line and the run game against Penn State? Don't you feel better? I mean, we could sit up here and say, yeah, Michigan can win the national championship. Oh, Michigan's the defending Big Ten champs. Oh, Michigan this, Michigan that. But don't you just feel better going to Columbus now after seeing that pulverizing Michigan team, what they did against?
Everybody was telling me that, Penn State was some type of deal. Yeah. I said Penn State wasn't. Nothing about Penn State looked good to me. But people told me, and the pundits, national people, etc., fans, was Penn State. Oh, Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford came back this year. He's playing much better this year. Oh, the running backs. Oh, they got a Nick Singleton. He reminds me of Miles Sanders. Oh, they got this other guy, Allen, number 18. He reminds me of Saquon Barkley. They're going to come in and shock Michigan. Well, if you call 7 for 19 and 120 yards shocking from Sean Clifford, if you call Nick Singleton, who had 19 yards rushing, if you call Allen, who had 18 yards rushing, if that's shocking, keep shocking me.
Listen, we all know this kind of stuff works in the Big Ten. But will it work against the other guys? Will the run game, will this guy, we're going to punch you in the mouth, will this work against them, or does Michigan still have to be able to throw the ball?
There's one team. Sorry, go ahead.
The good thing about it is we don't have to worry about Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama right now. Guess what? Because we still got 5 games to play in the Big Ten. Then we have the Big Ten championship if we so make it. Then we can worry about that. To answer your question, yes, because what do I keep talking about? Michigan has the perfect maturation of a schedule. The schedule is set up so perfect for them to mature along the way to get to where they need to be when they play in Columbus, when they play in the Big Ten championship. So they will open up the passing game, but right now they're dominating with the run, and they're imposing their will on the opposition. So they will figure it out in the passing game, but when your running game is as good, you don't have to try to pass.
And show me a championship team, and I'll show you where they got lucky along the way. Because at some point, every championship team needs to find a little luck throughout the year, and maybe that luck just came in the way their schedule evolved over the year for the Michigan Wolverines. Maybe going to Iowa against not that challenging of an Iowa team. That benefited Michigan this year.
You get Penn State at home.
Exactly.
You get a bye week before Michigan State.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different things along the way. There is one team that I would be hesitant against and not feel as good about, and that is Georgia. I mean, they're still the defending champs to me, and until they lose, until I physically see them go down, it doesn't look like they have some cracks in the armor. But they did take them late against Missouri, and they only beat Kent State by 17 at home.
The other thing.
So, I mean, this is not last year's Georgia team. It's just not.
I fear Alabama and Tennessee. I don't fear Georgia. You know why I don't fear Georgia? Because Georgia beat the hell out of Michigan last year, and they had a long time to think about that butt whooping they took. Everybody talked about Michigan losing to Georgia, getting rolled on. Oh, Michigan! We thought Michigan was here, but they're still not ready. They're still not on the elite level. They thought about that all year long. I would love to play Georgia, actually. Alabama, I'm always nervous to play against Nick Saban. It is what it is. Yeah. And you have the Heisman Trophy winner in Bryce Young. Hendon Hooker looks damn good. I think they are the #1 team. Those are the two teams where I don't know if we're there right now, but we have a chance to get there. But Georgia, not scared of them because Michigan wants them to pay back.
Heavy NFL in hour number 2. We'll do it next, but first a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack. Check it out at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Look, Cintron wants to be a part of re-energizing the community. You see the Detroit Lions, they're sponsors. You see the Detroit Tigers, they sponsor. You see the Detroit Red Wings, and they partnered up with WoodwardSports.com. So let us re-energize the community. Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, gang, how about winning front row tickets to see Detroit and Green Bay live at Ford Field? To enter, all you got to do is record a video of yourself doing your best Dan Campbell impression. Man, you know you can do it. Post on Instagram, Twitter, and, of course, at Woodward Front Row. Use that hashtag, Woodward Front Row. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. Of course, we're going to select 3 winners. They will get 2 tickets each to sit in the front row of Green Bay and Detroit. Winners are going to be announced on November the 4th, so hurry up and enter today.
I would crush that impersonation competition.
You would?
Dan Campbell. All you got to do is act like you're at a podium, have a Detroit Lions hat on, get your long sleeve Detroit Lions shirt on, and all you got to do is that's on me. You got to love the guys. They fought. They gave it all they had, and we didn't play we don't practice to lose. All you gotta do is come with a bunch of excuses and maybe shed a tear, and you'll win those tickets.
No doubt.
3 pair of tickets, so 3 winners.
How about that? Can't wait for that. Guys, I want to get into the NFL. The Lions did not play this week, but we were forced here in Detroit locally to watch the New York Football Jets and the New York Football Giants.
Jets.
And it almost was worse watching those teams than if the Lions actually played. Because when you got the schedule this year, don't tell me you didn't look at those 2 trips to the Meadowlands and say, win. And now you can't help but say, loss. What the Jets and Giants are doing in a 1-year turnaround, essentially. Brian Daboll, year 1, head coach, Giants. Robert Saleh, year 2, head coach, New York Football Jets. draft capital, whatever the case may be. The NFL allows you to get good quickly. Now, one guy on Twitter was real cute and decided to show me the New York Jets records over the last 15 years or so. And I understand
They're the Lions of the AFC.
And I understand that. But when you have draft capital, when you capitalize on that, for lack of a better word, and pick good players, and you have a coach that, they wanted him fired 3 weeks ago, I understand that, but it's amazing what a couple of wins do for you. Don't tell me that you can't get good quickly. The Giants are 5-1. The Jets are 4-2 and just beat the Green Bay Packers on the road at Lambeau.
They whipped them.
And beat them.
I called that, by the way.
Beat them bad. It's just not that hard. And even though the Lions didn't play this week, Braylon, it did work me up and rile me up because you're staring at two franchises that are at the bottom, in the basement of the NFL, and you see them on the rise. And you see tangible, really good teams that are on the rise here.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it is you look at the Jets and you look at the Giants in comparison to the Detroit Lions. Look, they got two head coaches. Robert Saleh, he's a defensive mind. He was a defensive coordinator for the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl. He's been doing it for a very high level for a while now. He's a defensive mind. Like, he has something. He brings that cachet. Look at how that defense is playing. Look how they're getting stops. Look how Sauce Gardner is playing. Sauce Gardner is the best rookie defensive player in the league. He's the best rookie defensive player in the league, and in contrast, on the other team is the second best defensive player, rookie player in the league, which is Kayvon Thibodeau. But they got.
Can I stop right there?
Because I said draft Kayvon Thibodeau.
You did, and let me tell you, dude looks like a wrecking ball. I mean, he looks like he's a wrecking ball.
Before I get to Kayvon Thibodeau, when I'm jump on the Giants, you know what else is why they're winning? For the Jets, their top draft picks are playing well. Even though they didn't draft Quinnen Williams, that was 3 years ago. Quinnen Williams right now is the #1 defensive interior defensive lineman right now, the way in which he's playing. Breece Hall is a man-child out there.
Second round pick.
You look at Sauce Gardner. You look at Garrett Wilson, who's on the way up. Elijah Moore. Like, their draft picks are playing well. You look at in the contrast to the New York Giants, while they're having success. Brian Daboll was an offensive coordinator when I was in Cleveland in 2009. He's been an offensive mind under Bill Belichick for the last 20 years. He goes to Buffalo. He has cachet. He knows X's and O's. But you know what he doesn't know? He doesn't know defense. But as opposed to go out and get his homeboy, as opposed to go out and get a friend of his who he played with, he went out and got a guy in Wink Martindale that's one of the best defensive coordinators of all time. And look at the way the Giants defense are playing. In the fourth quarter, they are the #1 defense in the NFL. They are resilient in that fourth quarter. You look at Kayvon Thibodeau, Leonard Williams, they are playing some great football on that side. And also, Daniel Jones, let's get rid of him. Didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones. Everybody said they should get rid of him. Move forward from Daniel Jones. He's a bust. Why would you take this quarterback out of Duke? You know what they're doing with Brian Daboll? They're allowing Saquon Barkley to be the workhorse. Because let's not lie to ourselves. Their offense isn't that good. Man, it's not like they have some world-beater offense, but you know what they're doing with Daniel Jones? They're putting him in positions, much like Michigan is doing with JJ, to not put too much on him. And you know what he's doing? He's taking care of the football, which is something he hadn't done the first 4 years of his career.
Right, you called it. Wink Martindale against his old team. He said, I like the Giants to win straight up.
That was my guarantee.
Take my hat off to you.
That was my guarantee alert. And
call.
Even, we can get
Lamar Jackson gave that game away.
Well, yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, it was what it was, right? The Giants won, and they're 5-1. I mean, what you would do if the Detroit Lions were 5-1? We'd probably have a parade down Woodward if the Lions were 5-1 at this point. And we're just trying to win a game here. We're just trying to win a freaking game. And it's just so frustrating because, yes, the Jets in the last 2 years have had 5 #1 picks, 2 in 2021, 3 in 2022. Well, the Detroit Lions, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? After next year, they're going to have 4 #1 picks in a 2-year period. 4 #1 picks. So does that mean next year's our year? Does that mean next year is the year that you point to and you say you got to compete for a playoff berth? Because I'm seeing these teams and I'm tired. I'm just tired.
Did you see the graphic they put up for the Jets yesterday of the players that they picked?
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Look at this
Elijah Vera Tucker, Elijah Moore.
Elijah Vera Tucker plays every freaking position on the offensive line. He is having a hell of a year.
Look at this.
They laughed at the Jets for taking him.
But again, this is the NFL system. If you don't pick good players, that's on you, man. You know what I mean? That's on you. The NFL allows you to, the way the system is set up. Now, if you're an incompetent general manager, like here we go, Fletch, throw this up. This is the Lions' second-round draft pick since 2014. It doesn't matter who the general manager is, who the coach is, you continue to miss. Levi Onwuzurike, by the way.
Surgery
out for the year. Tim Twyman.
He'll never play again.
Put that out there
Wasn't
today.
good to begin with.
Josh Paschal. I don't know if he's going to be any good or not, but what I do know is I'm getting zero production from him right now. DeAndre Swift, really nice player, but you know what?
40%.
29. He's played in 29 of 38 games. I can't win like that. I cannot win like that. Stay on the field. You do nothing for me when you're missing 9 of 39 games or whatever.
The best ability
is availability. Jelani Tavai, Kerryon Johnson, Tease Tabor, Ashawn Robinson, Amir Abdullah, Kyle Van Noy. Van Noy was terrible here, went to New England and won. Ashawn Robinson, he was pretty decent player, but again, he won with the Rams. He didn't win here. Why? Why did Ndamukong Suh win elsewhere but not here? I mean, it's like you pick, even the players that you pick that are good, you can't win with.
Well, Ndamukong Suh's first 4 years here were lightning in the bottle. I mean, that joker could have won Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. But you hit the nail on the head, man. The guys that they're drafting, the players that they're drafting, they got to show up. You win games with star players. The reason why the Bengals go to the Super Bowl essentially last year, they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That's their picks. You know, you look at Elijah Vera Tucker. You put that graphic up with the Jets. Those are 6 players. 3 of those guys right now, if the season ended, will be Pro Bowlers. Vera Tucker would be a Pro Bowler. Sauce Gardner would be a Pro Bowler, and Breece Hall would be a Pro Bowler. Right now, if you ended the season today, your first and second round picks, man, they got to not only start, they not only have to play for you, but they got to play at a high level, man, almost to a Pro Bowl or either a Pro Bowl right underneath the Pro Bowl level. And that's where Detroit Lions have struggled in the last, and the list goes on.
We'll go around the NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see this black and yellow sign, it means one thing. Tells the bad guys, stay out. Right now is the perfect time to make sure you have the peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. With 24/7 monitoring, you can have that peace of mind knowing that you are being backed by the best in the security business. Call this number, 1-800-STAY OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, everybody, for a limited time only, get down to Big Boy for the all-new burgers and loaded fries. It's not the Slim Jim anymore. It's the Big Jim. And how about those new burgers, the chili cheeseburger and the bacon blue and those loaded fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Big weekend in the NFL. So many really good games. A lot of duds, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a mixed bag, actually, if I'm being honest. Mixed bag of games in the NFL this weekend.
Yeah, it was not
overall.
exciting. Not a good week.
But there were some good finishes, like we mentioned, with the Jets and the Packers.
Heck yeah.
Or, excuse me, the Ravens and the Giants.
Ravens, Giants.
Yeah. And, of course, that Buffalo-Kansas City game. Let's go around the NFL. Tom Mazawey.
Yes, sir. You already know the Jets beat the Packers easily, and the Giants upset the Ravens at Giant Stadium. Let's move around. How about the Vikings? They go to 5-1 now. They beat Miami 24-16. Miami went through Bridgewater, and then Skylar Thompson came in, but no such luck for the Miami Dolphins. You guys got anything on that game?
Told you about the Vikings. Told you they were my team to win the NFC North. I actually should have picked them and the Eagles to be in the NFC Championship game. Vikings are winning games. They're finding ways to win. Some of the wins are ugly. You look at the win in London against the Saints. You can even look at this Dolphins game to a certain extent. It got a little scary for them at the end, but they still won the game. On the other side, just thinking about the Dolphins for 2 seconds, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are really good. Like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are damn good. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback. Jalen Waddle is going to find 130 yards, and Tyreek Hill is going to find 170.
It's not who you play; it's when you play them.
Yep.
And again, the Vikings, they get lucky.
The Lions handed them their season.
Yeah, I mean,
they really did. Think
yeah,
about that.
Yeah.
The Lions gave them that win, and they have not lost. They have not lost since beating
Confidence,
the Lions.
man.
That's what it takes.
Well, they opened up the season beating the hell out of Green Bay, so let's not.
Yeah, but that doesn't look like that.
Then they fell on their face the next week.
Doesn't matter. It's the NFL. It's still a rivalry game.
Then they fell on their face the next week.
Doesn't matter. It's the NFL.
Patriots beat the Browns 38-15. Bailey Zappi, guys. 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. This kid might not give up the starting role.
I'm not giving it back. I mean, if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm not going back to Mac Jones right now. I'm going to just wait and see.
100%. You're talking about a guy, Mac Jones, when he was in college, he had a ton of talent around him. That's what allowed him to have success. But Bailey Zappi's a guy, man, he's been doing it. I'm sorry to Michigan State, because when Bailey Zappi threw for 400 yards against Michigan State last year, I said, damn, you let a Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky? Well, you know what, Michigan State? I do apologize, because apparently he's a real deal.
Right.
How about it, man? I don't think he'll give it up.
I know.
How about those Falcons? They play hard, man. Falcons beat the Niners 28-14.
I got one right.
Hands off to them, man. Hats off to them. I got more on Around the NFL a little bit later on that game. Steelers upset the Bucs 20-18. Tom Brady is yelling at everybody on the sideline. We're going to talk about Tom Brady a little bit later, but how about the Steelers, man?
Are we talking about Brady
too.
later, or we want to do it now? Because I'm pissed at Tom Brady.
Let's go. Let's wait. Let's
wait.
Do the sidebar.
I'll do the football aspect of it. They don't have any chemistry. You know, Leonard Fournette's still playing well, but their offensive line, outside of Tristan Wirfs, they had 3 injuries. They're down to their 3rd center. They're down to their 2nd left guard. They're down to their 2nd left tackle. Like, these guys have been rotating. And then on the offensive side, Mike Evans missed 1 game. Godwin's still trying to find his way back after ACL surgery last year. They don't have that 3rd option. Scotty Miller, he can't catch a pass. And then Cameron Brate's hurt. They don't have Rob Gronkowski this year. Not the same on offense. Defense is good. Offense, they suck.
Bengals beat the Saints 30-26. 3 touchdowns for Joe Burrow. Andy Dalton could not close this game out. Maybe Jameis Winston gets his job back now, right?
Clearly, right? I mean, Jameis Winston he's the best quarterback on the roster. And Red Rifle's a fine player, but Jameis Winston, he is not.
Colts go down and score with about 20 seconds to go. They beat the Jags. Everybody's pick yesterday, the Jags. 34-27. Matt Ryan, almost a perfect game. Just under 400 yards and 3 touchdowns for Matty Ice. So hats off to the Colts and him. First place, Seahawks. Take your hat off to the Seahawks. They might be better than you think they are. They beat the Cardinals 19-9, and K9 scored again. So
K9 with a big game. Good to see Michigan State's K9 getting off in that game. Look, they played a an ugly schedule thus far, but like you said, man, you got to take your hat off. They're winning the games that are in front of them. It's just like we talk about, you play who's on the schedule. Yep. It doesn't matter who's injured on that team. It doesn't matter how bad they are. You play who's on the schedule, and Seahawks are playing some really good football.
Rams, couple of touchdowns for Matt Stafford, one to each team. 24-10. They beat the Panthers, and Robbie Anderson exploded on the sideline. We'll talk about him. He was sent to the locker room by Steve Wilkes, the interim head coach. They said, get the hell off of here. Get out of here. And then they traded him today to the Arizona Cardinals.
How about that?
You just hate to see that, man. And, this is a guy that was very open before the season started about not wanting Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield comes. The team's in shambles. They can't get him the ball. I understand his frustrations, but you just never want to see that. It's not good for you to go. And just think about this, too. And this is from another aspect of it. I was watching as a black man. I'm like, we talk about all the time wanting to get black head coaches. Well, black players, we got to respect head coaches. I did not like seeing the fact that he was all up in this coach, the interim coach's face. As a black man, you don't want to see that because the owners are looking like, can this guy run the team? Can we make this guy the full-time head coach? Well, if you got players that feel like they can do that, well, the owner's looking like, well, he can't control his guys. Also, I didn't see him do that to Matt Rule.
You know what I did like about that, though? Is that coach won.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes won.
So get the hell out of here.
Get out of here, and the next day he's traded.
Yep.
That speaks
100%.
to me about that's a boss move right
there. He went
there.
after his position coach,
I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
Yep.
That's what he said.
If I'm going to go down, I'm going down my way.
Absolutely.
Especially a guy that is so inconsistent with his performance.
Get out of here, Robbie Anderson.
Yeah. Bills beat Kansas City 24-20. Josh Allen, great again. 3 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, he's a beast. Touchdown and 149 yards. Yep.
It was a great game. Obviously, the team with the better wide receiver won. Let's call this what it was. If the Kansas City Chiefs have Tyreek Hill, they win that game. They don't have Tyreek Hill. We talked about it. Instead, Josh Allen has Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs. That's why they won that game. And oh, by the way, can we put some respect on an individual that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? When they stopped talking about him after a while, they tried to say J.J. Watt was better than this guy. He still stayed around, still hung around, still getting sack after sack. Last year, he gets traded to the Rams, and what does he do? He had 6 sacks in the postseason. Then what does he do? He gets picked up by the Buffalo Bills. They picked him up to be a veteran leader, but not just a veteran leader. They picked him up because he's still a dog and he knows how to close the game. 2 sacks in the fourth quarter to close out that game. That guy right there, first ballot Hall of Fame. Put some respect on Von Miller's name.
Eagles beat the Cowboys last night. Not a great game. Cowboys did come back a little at the end. 26-17, Philadelphia 6-0, and they just whipped up on their most hated rival, the Cowboys.
Jalen Hurts is just getting better and better. You got to love Nick Sirianni. You talked about it a second ago, Maz. You like Nick Sirianni. And I watched, I've said this before on the show, I watched a clip of his conversation about last year in terms of halfway through the point, changing the offense and changing things. He said we're so focused on, and first of all, Brandon Graham, all he does is make plays. All Brandon Graham, shout out to Michigan, Detroit native, Crockett High School, all he does is make plays in big games. But going back to Nick Sirianni, he said we start buying into what other people were saying about what Jalen Hurts isn't, what Jalen Hurts can't do. He said, you know what we start doing? We met him halfway and said, what can he do? How can we make things better? And you see the confidence that Jalen Hurts has going into the season. Everybody was nervous. Do we use 2 draft picks next year, draft capital, get the quarterback? Guess what? Philly, congratulations. You got yourself a franchise quarterback.
Guys, I want to tell you one thing. As we go around the NFL here, I want to tell you one thing to keep an eye out for. Okay? One thing that you really want to notice right now, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You are going to love this.
I like that.
We'll talk about Tom Brady and if he is doing a disservice to his team by continuing to play for the Tampa Bay Bucks. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Has summer left you feeling a little chubby? Yeah, me too. Custom Health Centers take the willpower out of weight loss, whether you need to lose 20 or 120. Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and safely. All you got to do is go to CustomHealthCenters.com, CustomHealthCenters.com, or give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. That's 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Well, it is Monday. That means the games are in the books for our Sunday picks. And how do we do? Had a good week.
You were red hot all week. College too.
I'm telling you, man. If I was, and I'm not playing, I don't play anymore, but 25 and 15, I mean, these guys that do this for a living are 25 and 15, and if they are, they're charging probably $400 a pick. $400 a pick.
I got a lock for you.
I got a lock for you. Lock of the century for you. Here's $400 a pick. Right now, hitting 60%.
You know what? I went 3-4 this weekend, but I am not mad at my picks. Look, I picked the Jets over the Packers. I picked Lamar Jackson over Daniel Jones. I took the Falcons. I won that one. I took the Browns with Nick Chubb. Got surprised there. Took the Bengals. Won that one. And I took the Chiefs at home because Josh Allen hadn't beat Chiefs at home. We got plus 2.5. And then I was dumb on the Cowboys. Cowboys is the only pick that I made this past weekend that I'm upset about. All the other ones, I would pick the same exact thing, exact same way.
You know, I do want to point this out, too, okay? What's the Lions' record?
1-4.
1-4. That extra wild card this year, the Green Bay Packers right now are in the 7th spot in the NFC at 3-3. The Lions are one game out of the loss column for the wild card at 1-4. And again, I'm just saying, if you can get hot, if you can win a game, you're going to be right there. This thing is not over. Do I think they will get there? No.
Would you stop?
But I'm just saying.
Would you stop?
I'm just saying, until they are mathematically eliminated, I'm going to say it's possible, because I think 8-9. I do think a team that is 8-9 is going to get in. Earlier this year, I talked about how I didn't think the Packers were any good. I didn't think the Rams were any good. And I didn't think the Bucs were any good. The only problem is nobody else in the NFC is good either. So those three teams still do have a chance to make some headway. But I think at 8-9, you might be getting into that last playoff berth.
How the hell are you going to win 8 games when you can't win?
It might not be the Lions, but even...
Yeah, but you said until they're mathematically out of it, you're still going to think they have a chance. Look, you guys did this last year with the Lions.
They're in the hunt.
They're in the hunt.
They're not in the hunt. When you can't close out in the fourth quarter, when you give up 14 points on average in the fourth quarter, when your defense can't stop a nosebleed, you're not going to win games.
If they beat Dallas and Miami and Green Bay,
they're in our hunt. They're in our hunt.
They're not going to beat Dallas in Dallas with Micah Parsons.
Dak's back.
No, because I don't have
any fun.
Dak's coming back.
You guys have too much fun with the Lions. No, I need to hold you guys accountable. The Lions do not have a chance. Dak's coming back next week. The game is in Dallas. Come on, man. Like, stop playing with the Detroit
we're in the
Lions.
hunt.
Well, currently, right now, I think everybody in the NFL is in the hunt except for Houston. Well, actually, those AFC teams are not.
Yeah, but the other teams that you're talking about, NFC, talking about Tampa, like they have Tom Brady, they have Todd Bowles, they'll figure it out. You talk about
Let's get there. Will Tampa figure it out? Because I'm not sure they will.
He's got 7 rings, and he's got wide receivers that haven't played, and he's got terrible offensive line. They will figure it out. They didn't look that good last year either.
I'm asking.
They didn't look that good last year.
He had a full team this week.
But I'm talking about Chris Godwin still coming back off ACL, so he's not exactly where he's supposed to be right now. The offensive line can't stop anybody,
man. They played the Steelers, man.
It doesn't matter. They can't block anybody. They can't block anybody. Defense did their job. That's why they still have a chance, because the defense is still good.
It doesn't help that he missed practice on Wednesday, missed practice on Friday to go to Robert Kraft's wedding.
Are we getting the time now?
He missed Saturday's walkthrough, and he flew on his own private jet to Pittsburgh.
I got to tell you, I'm souring on him, Bray. I am souring on him.
Listen, Tom Brady has been a sideline spoiled brat for years. But we allowed him to break surfaces. We allowed him to do all that other stuff. When we shame anybody else, we shame Odell Beckham, we shame anybody else that blows up on the sideline, we shame him. But Tom, we gave him a pass because he was the GOAT. We gave him a pass because he had 4 rings, then 5 rings, now 7 rings. So we gave him a pass, right? Tom Brady in training camp misses 2 weeks because he had to deal with marital issues with his wife, his soon-to-be former wife, Gisele Bundigan. Then this week he flies to Robert Kraft's wedding of his wedding. Let's just leave it there. You're no longer with the Patriots. You're no longer with the Patriots. You are a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and this is in season. Right. If I got to be here, you got to be here. When I was in Cleveland, I watched one of my teammates go through one of the nastiest, messiest divorces of all time. I mean, I'm 39. It's what I saw. It was horrible. I'm talking about showing up, a lot of verbal sparring, stuff in the paper, stuff in the news. Guess where he was at every day? He was on time. He did his work. He went about his business, and he took care of it as best he could. Tom Brady, you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. They are depending on you. You do not get any passes anymore because you have 7 rings, breaking surfaces on the sideline, yelling. If I was that offensive lineman, I would have told you, when you come on time, when you show up for everything like I do, then you can talk to me about how bad I'm playing. But in the meantime, shut the you-know-what up. Look, Tom, you're the GOAT. Nobody's taking that away from you. But what you are doing in Tampa is a disservice to the team. You see Todd Bowles called him out. It's a distraction, and it's a disservice that your best player, your GOAT, legendary player, the guy that 2 years ago everybody believed in, you did everything right. You showed up early. You got guys on your page. Now they're not looking at you in that same light. And now you're trying to blame players when you weren't there because you chose to go to Robert Kraft's wedding. Tom, you got to do better, man.
Belichick respectfully declined. He said, well, the wedding was in football season, so of course I'm not going to go to the wedding.
Yeah, you know, the thing with Tom Brady, and I think every great player gets special circumstances. But this just feels way different, and this is not the Tom Brady that I think most of us have appreciated over the years. From first of all,
can you imagine if Russell Wilson did that?
Well, again, I don't think it's apples to
Russell
apples.
Wilson doesn't get a cell phone to his teammates.
I think a better example is, could you imagine if Michael Jordan were to ever do that, or Wayne Gretzky, or name the best baseball player you've ever seen. Like, this is not, I don't think you can compare it to anybody else other than those great players.
No, you can, because don't even go that way. Like, Michael Jordan allowed Dennis Rodman to miss a whole couple of days because he understood the concept. So, Mike, I get it. Yeah. But compared to players that are playing now, if Aaron Rodgers would do that, we would be ripping him to shreds.
Well, again, and that's part of this whole thing, right? We like Tom Brady, right? I mean, we have over the course of 20 plus years fallen in love with this guy.
Do you like Tom Brady, or do you like his greatness?
Well, I love it all. I mean, I'm a Michigan guy. I love it all. You know what I mean? I'm one of the biggest Tom Brady fans you could have. Tom Brady can do no wrong for
except
me.
This.
But this whole, the way it all has played out. Now, if his play on the field, if they were scoring 30 points a game, winning, we don't hear about this. But the point is that they're not. And Tom Brady is doing things now. You look, it's hard to play in the NFL. You can't just show up and play. You can't just show up and win. And when you're missing training camp, when you're not showing up on Wednesdays, although he is there on Wednesdays, but even the conversation of, well, am I going to have a day off during the season? And then going to weddings when everybody else is one where it's Tom Brady is here and the rest of the team is here. And we've just never seen that before with Tom Brady on a team. Tom Brady has been all in. This time around, it seems like he's all out.
If you had a choice to do it again, and you were the general manager of the Tampa Bay Bucks and the owner, and you knew Tom Brady was gonna go through a divorce, he wasn't gonna be able to pay attention 100%. Let's face it, we said it. Family distraction. You can't possibly be the same person that you were. If they had an opportunity to do it again and maybe go out and find themselves a quarterback, or take Tom Brady when he's 45 and going through all this, what do you think they would have done?
They still take Tom Brady. He's 7-time championship, including 2 years ago. He won your second ever.
So then he can't complain about what he's doing.
I don't want to hear about his family problems. I watched Kobe go through a whole rape trial and still average 35.
But he's not saying anything about it. It's all of us.
And that's what I'm telling you. It's not. I'm saying there's no excuse. Right. I'm saying there's no excuse. There's no, he's not the same guy because he's going through a divorce. He's not the first athlete that has gone through a divorce during their respective season. He's not the first athlete to deal with problems during his season.
Right.
You got to get over it.
But who are we mad at? Tom or the team?
I'm mad at Tom Brady for the fact that he left, wasn't there, went to some wedding that had nothing to do with the season, and then has the audacity to yell at players on the sideline.
Well, yeah, I mean...
No, you can't do both.
Right.
You can't do both. You can't skip out because you want to go to a wedding, and then on Sunday, when you show up, you want to yell at me on the side on national TV?
I'd like to see his team get back in his face then.
Well, it's Tom. We treat Tom like the Messiah in the media and teams.
Do you like Tom Brady or do you hate Tom Brady?
No, I love Tom Brady.
You sounded like you hate him.
No, I love Tom Brady, but I'm going to hold you accountable when you make a mistake, just like people do me. I love Tom Brady, but he made a mistake. I can't see you doing this, not being there, not showing up, and then have the audacity to throw a surface and yell at me the day after you weren't there. Nah, it don't work like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it seems to be a little different. I didn't like Tampa Bay this year when the two centers went out.
Oh yeah,
I didn't like that. I just didn't feel like they were coming back. And remember, this is not the Tampa team that he chose to come back to. He thought he was going to go play for the Miami Dolphins. And if Tom Brady is a member of the Miami Dolphins, we might be talking about the Dolphins a little bit differently now. But Tua, I mean, hell, they were winning with Tua, so why couldn't they win with Tom?
But the thing is that defense still is playing good, and that's why I still have a sliver of hope for them. Because it's Tom Brady. I mean, just as much as I'm talking about him, it's Tom Brady, and it's also that really good defense. So I think they still have a chance to figure it out. I mean, you just told me that everybody's like right in the thick of things. So can they win the championship this year? No. But can they get to the semifinals? Yes.
See, that's the only reason I feel like those three teams specifically, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Rams, are all still alive. And, once you get to the playoffs, you're probably going to get your clocks clean, but I'm not betting against Stafford, Brady, or Rodgers in the playoffs, even though, most of them, Rodgers and Stafford haven't had the greatest success in the playoffs other than, the 1 year for each team. But nonetheless, we'll see how it plays out. More next here on WoodwardSports.com. But first, a message from Swiss Insurance.
Yes. I think we did this was all right.
We did the Swiss play of the week.
But then I started off with the Swiss read, though, and didn't let into it. But I'll read it again, though.
There you go.
Time to talk about Swiss. Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that will make them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Check out Mark at Swiss Insurance and make sure your family, the family, is protected.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. Because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
WoodwardSports.com. You know what time it is. That's fun. WoodwardSports.com. Chat. Thanks to everybody involved in that. And we invite you to head to our WoodwardSports.com shop as well. Over 120 items on the WoodwardSports.com shop page. Plenty new gear. I actually got a notification that my gear is coming.
Okay.
It has been shipped.
At least something's coming.
Right. No doubt, because we all
got the
know.
new D-Mac shirt. Did you see that one?
I did not see
got
the new
a new Darren
D-Mac
McCarty shirt, man, with the with a logo that's familiar. Why don't you check that out? When you
Look
get
at
a
that. You can check it out as well. Lots of great stuff
Speaking
here.
of D-Mac, when's the last time a Detroit franchise was 2-0? The Red Wings are 2-0.
How about 'em, man? I can't wait to just sit around. I'm going to watch the game tonight.
Yeah, 100%. 100.
Instead of those Broncos, Maz, as we continue to go around the NFL.
Again?
I know. If the networks only knew how bad they were going to be.
Oh, my God. They're going to be on like 4 or 5 more primetime games tonight. It's the Broncos at their division rival, the San Diego, well, now L.A. Chargers. Chargers 4.5-point favorites. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be there tonight. You guys watching this game, or are you watching the Yankees and the Guardians, Game 5?
I'm going to watch the Wings.
Oh, yeah, the Wings.
I'm going to watch the Red Wings tonight.
But how about this game first?
I'm going to watch.
It's fine.
I'm going to watch both. The way my TV is set up, I'm going to watch the Yankees will be in the distance, and I'll be in front of the Chargers and the Broncos. This is an important game, and I kind of want to watch it. I want to see, because both of these teams, as ugly as they've been playing this year, are still alive. This is an important game for both. Important for the Chargers, for them to get back on track and maybe potentially challenge to get into the playoff. And even for the Broncos as well. What's going to happen with Russell Wilson and the offensive production? You want to see what he can do. Is it official that he's no longer Russell Wilson and it's not going to work? Or are they finding ways to have success like he did when he was in Seattle?
No doubt. And look, I think that AFC West is not dead yet. I mean, I think Kansas City's going to win it, but I just think that all of those teams in there, including the Las Vegas Raiders, Mads, at 1-4, as you had pointed out, I think they could go on a run here. Their schedule sets up real nice for them, for the Raiders. So the Chargers, we talk about this quarterback, Justin Herbert, all the time, man. It is time for him to show up. It is time for him to show up and not just play well, but win in the end as well.
No doubt. Austin Eckler playing well as well.
Yeah, I have Austin Eckler on my fantasy team. I'm like 3 points ahead of Ryan right now, so I need Austin Eckler to do well.
Ryan Lentz?
Yeah, Ryan Lentz, man. I got him by 3 points. I picked up Mike Gesicki 7 minutes before kickoff, and he ended up having 24 points. But going back to Justin Herbert, everybody's always trying to dethrone Aaron Rodgers or dethrone Patrick Mahomes. Oh, well, it's Justin Herbert. Oh, you got to show up.
Yep.
I don't care about the regular season. I care about the moments, and I care about the playoffs. So if Justin Herbert truly wants to be that guy that they talk about, a generational talent, well, I got to see it today.
All right. This just in about 20 minutes ago. Washington Commanders quarterback Carson Wentz. You saw him on Thursday against the Bears. His helmet was a helmet to finger injury. Well, he's got a busted ring finger on his throwing hand. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So insert Taylor Heineke, who took Washington to the playoffs a couple of years ago, almost beat Tom Brady and the Bucs. And waiting in the wings, of course, will be the North Carolina #1 draft pick. Well, what round did they get?
Sam Howell?
What side did they get Sam Howell? Second or third round?
Yeah.
He's waiting in the wings, but Carson Wentz is out.
I'll tell you, they might be better with Taylor Heineke, to be honest with you. I mean, they just might be.
He shows moxie, shows reserve. He can he moves out of the pocket pretty well, and he's kind of fearless. To go against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady 2 years ago, he was fearless in that game. So, I mean, look, they can't get any worse than 99 passing yards out of Carson Wentz. So, I'm pretty sure they'll do better.
Who would have thought that the NFC East would have the best combined division record out of anybody in the NFL?
Love it.
God bless you.
Yeah. Hey, they're back to their old self. How about yesterday when Atlanta won? Atlanta beat the Niners, and their head coach, Arthur Smith, he's becoming a hell of a coach. This guy coaches. This team doesn't have a lot of talent, and they're in every game. So at the end of the game, he takes his offensive line up to the suites for beers. Check this out.
Oh, I love it. Yo, this is amazing.
Isn't that great?
Is awesome.
That's amazing. Like things like that is when you create a culture, man. Where like you guys,
It's like Brian Daboll.
Exactly, guys. You saw Brian Daboll after the opening game, him dancing in the locker room. Look, I've known Brian Daboll a long time. I never knew he was a dancer.
Right.
But you bring the team in. You bring the guys in. Like stuff like that. Guys are like, yo, we got something. When you get that energy and you like, man, there's something here, man, it's nothing like it. You start playing better, you start doing things better, you start taking it more serious, you start trying to learn more about the offense, or if you're a defensive player, defense, it's going to be a good thing for the Falcons.
Yeah.
If you missed it earlier, Robbie Anderson, I told you yesterday he was benched by Steve Wilkes, the interim head coach of the Panthers, sent him to the locker room. Well, today they traded him to the West Coast Arizona Cardinals. So Robbie Anderson is gone. Man.
Arizona, by the way, dealing with Hollywood Brown.
He's down for the year. Bad foot.
So
and who do they get back next week? DeAndre Hopkins back from his suspension for PEDs.
Yeah, you're talking about the NFL and the NFC being wide open. You know, this team like that. You get DeAndre Hopkins back. Look, Robbie Anderson's not my favorite guy. He's not my favorite person, but he does have some talent. And I think this is going to be a situation where I'm just assuming, I'm putting myself in his shoes. You see that how it played out on the sideline. Everybody saw that nationally. It wasn't a good look, but you're still given an opportunity to go with one of the young, bright quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he's going to be excited, and I think he's going to help them do some things.
Hey, the Texans parted ways with their executive vice president today, former Patriot guy, Jack Easterbay. He is gone, so it's a big shakeup in the Houston Texans front office. So who knows what's happening with that? I have no idea. The only thing I saw was that he was released today from his contract. How about the Titans?
Texans stink.
Yeah, the Texans are terrible.
They're just a horrible organization, franchise. Andre Johnson tried to warn us about it. J.J. Watt quietly tried to warn us about it. DeAndre Hopkins tried to warn us about it. They're just a terrible organization.
The Titans are going to get themselves a new stadium. Their stadium's 20 years old. Nissan Stadium is 20 years old. I've been there. It's a nice stadium. It's out there. You can see downtown Nashville.
Oh, man.
Well,
can you imagine?
They're getting a new stadium with a dome so they can have it all.
Absolutely. And Super Bowls
it's gonna
will
be amazing.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have
Nashville's
to now.
a hell of a city,
You
man.
gotta stick a dome on there now.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a 20-year-old stadium is, get rid of it. We've talked about Ford Field. I know it has a dome already, but we've talked that it's kind of
20 years old.
Yeah, it's 20 years
21.
old. It needs a facelift as well. All right, let's go with next, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts hired himself an all-female management team. Look at this, Jalen Hurts Incorporated.
Saw that.
Look at this guy.
Good for him, man.
He's like, I got my girls. They're looking out for me. And I got a bunch of sharks. That's the way I look at it.
It's great.
I think it's interesting. You know, when females have a different perspective as it relates to management. They'll keep you out of trouble. They'll keep you focused on all goals, all concepts, all things that are going on currently. So I think this would be cool.
Hey, man, you hire the best people for you.
Yeah.
And
whatever makes it work.
That's right.
And last one for the day, Jalen, forget about him. Justin Jefferson is in some special company. Look at this guy. He is sharing the stage with these two characters.
Randy Moss, my favorite receiver. I grew up a Jerry Rice guy, and then when Randy Moss came on the scene, it was just different. He made everybody pay for not drafting him, including the Detroit Lions. But Odell Beckham, man, he was must-see TV. New York Giants always on prime time. The one-hand catch kind of set the tone. He was amazing for his first 4 years. And then Justin Jefferson, man, everybody talks about him and Jamar Chase. They go back and forth week to week. Justin Jefferson stepped outside himself yesterday and had a good game. 19
games with over 100 yards in the first 3 seasons. He's up there with some great company and Odell Beckham and Randy Moss.
Pretty good stuff, huh? Those Minnesota Vikings know how to draft some wide receivers, don't they?
Minnesota and the Pittsburgh Steelers keep some damn good wide receivers. Like every time you look up, they got some guys. Adam Thielen stepped outside and made a couple plays. That's a guy that they were looking for to have some more production. He stepped up and had some plays. So Vikings, I don't know, man. I told you.
Southfield Slab says, what do you mean? You wouldn't rather have Terry Fair? I mean, that might have been one of the worst this or that's in the history of Detroit Lions football. And there have been a lot of them.
We can't possibly have a guy with that type of attitude on our team.
Right.
No, we can't.
And you know what's crazy? And it's almost a disservice to Terry Fair. Because of how great Randy Moss is, Terry Farrell wasn't a bad player. He was a good kick return.
He was fair.
He was a kick return specialist,
fair.
and he was a decent cornerback. But the fact that they drafted him over Randy, you would never look at it that way.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Back to wrap it up. We'll talk maybe about those Red Wings. But first, and baseball. Lots to get to still.
What about that Deion Sanders interview?
I love Deion.
Oh, man.
And maybe we'll
so
throw
good.
my little lady up here.
Let's get
But
Lady
first,
up
a
here.
message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the S Word, and the S stands for stigma because we are trying to destigmatize mental health. Look, it is okay to not be okay, but when you're not okay, you got to go somewhere to get the information so you can have the conversation about mental health, about depression, about anxiety. Sean Jordan and SMA do an amazing job. Go to their website, sportsma.com. That's sportsma.com for all your questions, concerns, and inquiries. Excuse me.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey everybody, only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one right on the spot. So stop in today at Big Frog in Novi or check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Here we are. Woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch JB, and Lydia Ermanni.
Hey, there we go.
All right, Lydia.
What do you think, Lydia?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
So Braylon and Tom, Lydia has been busy making pictures for you. I think Fletch has a couple of them. One is, what do we got here? There is the Woodward Sports, where your fitness is essential.
That's
and
beautiful.
And then the next one is just Planet Fitness.
She's got some skills
She's
over
been
there.
sitting here. Look at that.
Can I hang those up in the office? Thank you.
Did you make the same drawings for your lemonade stand? Did you draw for that as well?
No.
Man, you should have. I would have bought 1,000 lemonades from you.
Lydia, why don't you say hi to your schoolmates? What school do you go to?
St. Paul.
Say hi to your friends.
Hey, Lydia, tell the people what a big Detroit Lions fan I am. What do you think?
You're really big.
What about Michigan? Who do I like better, Michigan or the Lions?
Michigan.
Oh, she didn't even hesitate. Speaking of Michigan, shout out to my nephew, Micah Paulo, who's special teams freshman of the week.
Look at that. Come on now, Micah.
Shout out nephew, man.
Really good stuff.
Lydia,
there.
does Dad do a lot of screaming when he's watching the TV at home? Does he do a lot of yelling and jumping up and down? Yeah? I bet he does.
Couple words in there.
Oh, yeah.
How about your brother? You want to say hi to your brother?
What about Luke?
Hi, Luke.
There you go. There you go.
Good stuff. Hey, Luke. Hey, Mom. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, wave to everybody. We're going to finish the show now.
You forgot your dog.
Oh, Reese. Oh, there you go, Lynn. All right. Good stuff. Thanks, guys. Lydia has wanted to come to Woodward Sports
What a doll.
for the longest time, but she always has school pretty much.
Yeah.
And
my daughter's off today, too.
And they're off for Teacher Development Day or something
those
like
Catholic
that.
schools.
And we thank Mr. Fletch for getting those pictures up on short notice. Right,
She's so amazing. At her age, I would have been all over Woodward Sports and Lady James right now, just running around. She's just over there chilling. So
making pictures.
Getting it
Look
in.
at that.
Hey, did you
Pretty
guys
good
get a
stuff.
chance to watch any baseball over the weekend?
Yeah, I did. I watched my San Diego Padres win.
It was amazing. How about the Mariners and the Astros on Saturday night going 17 innings at 0-0. 18 at 0-0.
Couldn't believe it.
Jeremy Pena hits a home run to win it for the Astros. Seattle lost 3 heartbreak games. Then the Yankees hang on. Yankees lose to the Guardians. They won yesterday, so I got to suffer with Game 5 tonight. And then, of course, the Padres, man. Man, did they play great at home against the Dodgers. And they are their daddy. They beat their daddy. They beat those 111-win Dodgers. Congrats. And the Phillies.
I know somebody that called that, by the way.
And the Phillies knocked off the Braves. The Atlanta Braves, the champions, are done. Watch out for the Phils, man. When they play at home, they are tough to beat.
Braylon, you have the floor because you called the Padres.
Well, you know what, man? I just saw the way that they played towards the end of the year. And when you got to face a gauntlet, when you got to go to Soto, and then you come to Machado, and then you come to Josh Bell, and all of these guys are hitting really well. Musgrove was pitching really well at the end of the year as well. So I say, hey, you know what? The Dodgers, when Kershaw gets into the playoffs, man, his ERA drops tremendously from what it is in the regular season. So I saw a window, I picked the Padres, and here we are. So, but I'm excited to see that game because Bryce Harper, although I may not like him as a person, he's one of my favorite baseball players as well. So to see Manny and Bryce get after it, it's gonna be fun.
I do have to say, one great thing about that Padres, it is so great to see grown men just feel the way they feel. Like, sports to me is the greatest thing in the world because, it's
Emotion.
not serious, but it's so serious it makes a grown man laugh and cry and go nuts and go to the bar and buy everybody drinks. It's just the greatest thing in the world. How about Juan Soto coming up clutch? Manny Machado a year before, a couple of years ago, the big free agent pickup. I mean, it's just so fantastic. And we cannot forget Jake Cronenworth, Michigan guy.
The big win, the big winning RBI.
It's because so much passion, so much dedication, so much time over years goes into that moment. Those guys, they didn't just start in the MLB. Look at Odell Beckham last year when he's crying after they won the Super Bowl. Like, look at what he took to get to that Super Bowl, from the Giants' success to the way the Giants ended, to Cleveland not necessarily being OBJ anymore, then getting a second chance, and then winning the Super Bowl. So much time and effort and dedication is put into those moments. So when you have those successes, like, you're like, man, like, finally, man, this is what I've been fighting for. This is what I've been grinding towards.
Hey, 51 years ago, just for a side note, the Pirates beat the Orioles to win the World Championship. Roberto Clemente, MVP. That's the first World Series I ever watched as a kid and fell in love with baseball that year. First I watched the All-Star game in Detroit. I'm like, man, I got to get to Tiger Stadium. Man, did I love that place. And then the Pirates knocked off the Orioles. Orioles had 4 20-game winners on that team. Heavily favored, and the Pirates beat them in 7 games, 2-1. 51 years ago today, Roberto Clemente, one of the greatest right fielders of all time.
Pirates did that to my Braves, man. And what was it, in 1991 or 92, where I think they had 3 20-win pitchers and 1 18-win pitcher, and Pirates knocked off the Braves.
Crazy.
We got hockey tonight.
Yep, looking forward to that, Maz. Tyler Bertuzzi out with an upper body injury for the next couple of weeks.
That means what? It's a toe injury?
Yeah, right.
Is that how it goes?
I don't know, but look, again, a fast start is just, it's so good for A, confidence, but B, you get a lot of people on board that might not necessarily be on board. I mean, I'll take myself as a perfect example. I'm watching Monday Night Football 99 times out of 100 and twice on Sunday or twice on Monday. You know what I'm trying to say. But tonight, because of the 2-0 start, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to dedicate my time to the Detroit Red Wings because it seems like this is a fun team to watch. I mean,
I was there on Friday night.
2-0,
enjoyed it.
It's just great.
It was terrific. I'm going to go again tonight.
I want
watch
to
a
be
couple
all in on
periods.
this team. I want to be all in on this team.
Excited about it, man. Talk to D-Mac, man. Even though they lose Tyler Bertuzzi, this is the offseason move they pulled. They have Ben Sherratt. They have Andrew Copp. So these guys still have some guys there that can make some plays. They still have some young studs. They're 2-0. But the one thing I talked about I love is the hiring of Alex Westland, who is the goaltending coach. Because last year, the Detroit Red Wings gave up the most goals in the NHL. So to hire a coach that's his specialty, you're seeing it right now.
It also helps to have a couple of good goaltenders on your
Villa
team.
Husov, man. Had a breakout year last year with the St. Louis Blues, so yeah.
Oh, man,
Villa
great
Husov.
stuff.
How about Chuck is back with TNT?
Yeah.
The whole NBA on TNT is back.
New
they all got new
contracts.
deals, and Chuck is going to get well over $100 million for 10 years. What happened to retiring?
So he signed a
He
minimum.
likes to gamble. He needs that money.
Signed a minimum $100 million deal over 10 years. Potentially has, I don't know how it gets to $200 million, but there's clauses in there that could take it to $200 million. God bless Charles Barkley. I mean, we need more Charles Barkley in our life, not less. So I'm glad we got him.
He's must-see TV. Only Charles Barkley can create words and get away with it and have fun with it and make fun of himself and everybody else. Like Charles Barkley, he's amazing.
And Jordan Poole, he got his money, $140 million. Congratulations.
All he had to do was get punched in the eye.
Oh, my goodness. Braylon, get us out of here.
Fun week, man. Great start to a great week. Michigan wins. Michigan State in 2 weeks. Detroit Lions back on the board this week against the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into that. And also, we'll talk a little bit about the Red Wings. They're 2-0. They play the Kings tonight, so hopefully they get the W so we can talk about them tomorrow. For my man J.B. Maz and Fletch, for Lydia Ermanni, as well as my brother Ryan Ermanni, we are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and Lydia.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.